Hi, it's San Mew here, holistic transformational business mentor for conscious leaders and practitioners. And this is video 2 of the training series. And today, in this one, I'm going to be talking to you about clarity. How do we gain clarity about ourselves and who we are, and why we actually need to understand our body, mind, and spirit in order to get clarity on our purpose and our expression modalities. So this is a big one, right? It's really about why do we actually need to go through struggle and experience horrendous situations and times in our life, and why this is actually all happening. So like when you're up leveling, sometimes we go through a really terrible time of anxiety, loss of knowing who we are. We might be spinning, we might be procrastinating, we might not feel clear anymore on what we're actually doing, and so on. So that can come up when we're up leveling to the next level of visibility, of purpose, of income and impact. But it can happen really anywhere. Like it's about when we really want to be authentically visible in who we are and share our message on a big scale, we do need to be clear first on who we are, what our mission is, what our message is, and who we really are deep inside. So in my previous video, I was talking a bit about this and why it's so important. But in this video, I really want to be clarifying how we get to this clarity around who we really are. So the way I usually approach this with the footprint connection, reflexology, my modality, and also my mentoring online is deep questioning and reading of our body, our mind, and our spirit. So our body is our physical representation in this world, right? And so it actually holds all the keys that we need to understand who we are in our personality, where we've been, our pathway, where we're meant to be going, what our gifts are, what our struggles are, where we're actually holding ourselves back. It's all written in our body, and with my modality, I read this through the feet. But we don't even need to look at the feet. We can even look at all the experiences that we've been having so far and that are now presenting themselves as symptoms, like health symptoms, as struggles in our life, in outcomes, or lack of outcomes. It's also written in our energy, like how high is our deserving level, where we are in terms of shining. Are we contracted? Are we holding back? Or are we standing proud and actually shining forwards with confidence, knowing inside who we are and trusting the universe and ourselves? Well, all of this is impacted, right? And it's held and stored in the cells in our body. So why on earth are we all striving to gain clarity from some outer external sources when we actually need to return inwards and listen? Well, I don't know why we have this inbuilt urge to run outwards, but I had to learn really early in my life, when I was 16, that the only journey is in. So I was really sick when I was 16. At the time, I was very stressed and under high pressure, and I was seeking for the help from outside, trying to treat what I was going through in the physical, but also find my way forward. And at the time, I really learned that it's the other way around. So from the moment that I actually acknowledged what was going on for me mentally and mentally and energetically, and emotionally, I could then release it through the body with specific treatment forms. And it was amazing to see how quickly I could get better and release it. I found my way to natural therapies and to holistic thinking. And at that time, I realized 3 keys, which is, these are: stress is a killer. You always need to listen to your intuition, no matter what else is being said, no matter what specialists say to you. And this applies not only in the health field, but also in the mentoring world. It is so important that you feel in your core that it's the right steps you're taking. If you're feeling wavery, come back to yourself first and listen, and then align your steps if they feel truly right deep inside. Okay? So I'm not talking about fear-based thinking here. I'm talking about if they feel right deeply in your core and they make you feel open, then you know it's right. And the third one here is that our body, mind, and spirit are all one. So everything is reflected in the other. So when we have not the outcome in our life that we want to, like let's say the results of making money, or the impact that you're feeling like you're not really doing your job at a level that you want to be playing at and you want to reach more people and help more people, well, then you also know that there's something blocking, right? And so when we look at these outcomes that are not matching your desires and your yearnings and your dreams, then you know that there must be something inside that's blocking that from happening, because we are naturally and innately meant to be receiving whatever we desire. Again, like in my first video, and I mentioned that then, if we hold shame and guilt deeply in our body or other emotions that are blocking that, you won't see the results. But that aside, to find that way in and find a clarity around who you are, what your expression modalities are, and then so you can then systematically unlock whatever is blocking you and find that way into that pathway to take those first steps and then move from there, you need to go through your body. And why not? Because, you're walking around it anyway. So let's just look inside and actually look what's going on. So a good pathway and a good start here is to understand what your body's trying to tell you. So look at the symptoms that you're experiencing at the moment, mild or severe. Look at what they mean. So you can grab books like Annette Noontil's book of like understanding your body, like your body is your barometer of your soul. There's Louise Hay and a few other great teachers out there. I teach about it a lot too, and I'm writing on my second book at the moment, which is more about actually understanding your body and your mind and your spirit through the body. And no matter what teachings you follow here, really listen inside and see how you can apply what you're finding there and that understanding around the symptoms that you're experiencing, and try to understand what your body is trying to tell you, because our physical is a representation of our subconscious mind. And when we learn to read this and understand it, wow, like a whole world will open up to you, and you will understand more and more what patterns you're playing and how you're holding yourself back and small, and how you can move forward, and what is your most aligned pathway to move forward. So I'm really putting a big emphasis on this with your aligned pathway, because we're being told so many cookie cutter systems in terms of this is the one way that's right and you need to follow that in order to get X, Y, Z outcome. And this is so wrong, because we all are so unique. And when we look at people like Walt Disney, for example, like I was just sent an email this morning, received sort of like how his first business plan looked like, which apparently was like the scribbled picture of all these different things, like what, the Disney World and comics and cartoons and da-di-da-di-da, like all over the place, and there was lines everywhere, and it looked really chaotic, right? And I dare say his mentors were saying, no, you need to simplify that and narrow it down. But luckily he didn't, right? Because now it's like this massive empire, right? Everyone knows it. There's movies, there's Disney World, there's all sorts of stuff going on. And he's certainly been a massive leader of, his time, right? And so what I'm bringing up this example for is like, we can feel so complicated and not doing things right. But if they feel right, if they come from deeply within and they are part of your vision and there is this part there, then yes, get the guidance and the help to fine tune this, to streamline it, and to anchor it in the most aligned way with who you are. But don't let it start you judging yourself for where you're at, and don't let it or anyone judge you, including yourself. So don't let anyone or yourself judge yourself for where you're at or how far you've come so far, because this is something that can happen really easily. We can feel like we haven't come far enough, we're not good enough, we're not there yet. We're experiencing this story here right now, we're experiencing the struggle, we must be bad, this and that. All that can hold you back so tremendously that is actually one of the worst enemies that we have. So they don't say that for nothing. You're your own worst enemy, right? We need to come back to this point where we can fully love ourselves, accept ourselves, release the guilt, the shame, and all the emotional baggage we're carrying and holding towards ourselves or the world, so that we can actually free our pathway, so we can then step forward with clarity and purpose and confidence. I hope this all makes sense and you can take some pieces out of this, and it gives you more insight into how we need to understand our body, mind, and spirit, so that we can get clarity around our purpose and our expression modalities. So I will get into the next video around confidence and how we then confidently can share our purpose and message and gifts with the world in my next video. So I can't wait to see you there. Bye for now.